Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to this stream about abundance. I'm going to open the records of abundance and of prosperity. That's what they said to me. Open the records of abundance and prosperity. And let's see what comes out of there. And I have some beautiful questions from the community and for people here in YouTube. I want to answer as many as I possibly can. It is such a interesting topic for me to become better in abundance, to become better in receiving it. Because 5 years ago, I was absolutely neglecting the topic. And it was quite blissful, to be honest. I was like, wow, you know, I was already into spirituality and I was already meditating quite a long time. And I was living in a very hippie-like city in the Netherlands. And I was just like, who needs money? You know, like everything is love, everything will be all right. And that's a blissful feeling to be in. And at the same time, that's a very that's a feeling that's kind of kept me. It kept me supported, but it kept me supported at a minimal level because I was never thinking about growing it and sustaining it and becoming a steward of money and resources. It always kind of at the end of the month I had very little, and then somehow I had a lot. I had a little bit again, and then it went always in these waves. And when I was like, maybe I don't want to experience these waves anymore, I realized, oh wow, I have been neglecting this topic for so long. It's time to dive in. So I dove in, and it's become a passion of mine to receive abundance in every area because I believe it's our birthright. We just forgot how to listen to it, how to receive it. Our society doesn't remember how to receive it. So it's so nice to open a conversation and talk about it. If you are watching this on YouTube, feel free to drop it in the chat, to drop a question in the chat. I see the chat here. Hello, Jessica, welcome. I see the chat. I also have my community members here on Zoom. And some also put some questions. They pre-send it to me. So I'm going to just open the records. You might feel something happening as soon as I open the records. And then we just go into a channel. And then I'm going to ask all the questions that you might have, especially on the topic of abundance. I would love to focus on that today. So let me open the records. With love and light, I hereby open the Akashic Records of abundance and prosperity using the Andromeda prayer. Okay, the records are open. Oof. Beautiful. So, I would love to ask them actually to begin with, like, is there anything we would like that we need to know as a species on abundance? I will drink a lot of water because I heat up a lot when I channel. And today I'm holding this abundance stone right now. It's a stone that I started having. Yeah, now it focuses. It's a stone that I started having in my on my desk, and I love it. Absolutely love it. So I'm gonna hold it in my hands to keep myself grounded when I'm channeling. Let's go. Put all your questions in the chat or in the group. I will try to answer as many as possible. Let's have some fun. Dear Records, is there anything you would love to let everybody know? Is there a message that on abundance and prosperity that we all need to hear? Oh dear, we have so many messages we would love to share with humanity because you seem to be quite forgotten it, and only around 1% of your civilization is actually remembering the principles and actively using it. That's why all the people always talk about the 1%. That's why people see and perceive that the gap between the so-called rich and so-called poor becomes bigger and bigger. But abundance is not only about money and riches. We see abundance and prosperity on every level. We see it in friendships, we see it in resources, we see it in connections or networks, we see it in technology, we see it in health and energy, vitality. We see it in love relationship and romance. There are so many areas where you can receive abundance in. And the first thing we would love to say to every person on your planet is the following. Stop focusing on the area that you are so-called or so perceived a lack of abundance in. So most humans, when they start to see their or think that they are lacking in one area, the aspects of abundance or prosperity, they start to only focus on that, as if that is what makes their life complete. But the opposite is true. Their life is already complete. And if that area would also overflow, then it would only be even more so. And therefore, as soon as you notice that you are, and this is a very basic principle, but still many humans are not exercising the principle, focus on the things that are abundant in your life. Even if you are living in a place where it's cloudy every day, you can say the clouds are abundant in my life. Maybe you live close to a lot of restaurants. You can say the restaurants are in abundance in my life. You might have a lot of trees around you. The trees are in abundance in my life. Now, what does this matter? We hear the minds that are completely focused in lack respond to us. It matters a lot. Because if you have your focus on that one area that is not or feels not complete in your life, you start to vibrate in a very disempowered state of being. In so doing, only inviting more areas to be lacking. You might be only lacking money while you have a great relationship and great friends and a beautiful home. But because you want more money, you focus all of your energy on the lack of money, and in so doing, you become a more miserable person. And less friends want to be with you, so your friendship starts to lose that level of abundance. Maybe your partner starts to become less interested in you because you're only focused on this money piece. And there your relationship starts to suffer. And in so doing, you start losing more and more of the abundance that you already have by focusing on lack, because your vibration is a match towards that. But if you start focusing on the opposite and start to become grateful, then you invite the other areas to also move in that same direction. Because even though these areas might look very different, they all work according to the same universal laws. Money is no different than having a great influx of friends. or vitality is no different than an influx of money. You can perceive them as very different subjects, but they work according to the same principles. So by aligning yourself to the areas where you naturally receive in, you start to become more of a match to naturally receive in all areas. We know that is common knowledge, but it is not common practice knowledge. A lot of people might say, I know, but are you practicing? Or are you saying, I know, and a minute later you again are worrying if you can pay the bills or worrying if you ever find a lover? We want you to say, I know, and then look around you and see how much abundance is around you. Let's start with the air, and let's start with water. There are more than 80% of places on Earth that humans live in have an abundance of water. So high chance that you are living in a place where there is an abundance of water. Now, let's be grateful for that. There are many places on Earth. 99% of the land on Earth has breathable air. So high chance that you are in a place that has breathable air. Let's be grateful for that. We can at least list 50 things right now, if you so choose, that you can be grateful for as soon as you wake up every morning. So it will be such a waste of your energy and time to focus on that one thing that seems lacking. Align yourself with the prosperity that is around you and do not focus on the area that is lacking. Let it naturally be harmonized with the rest of your life. But there is more we want to say, even though we would also really and look forward to going into your questions. Here is something that a lot of humans are not seeing, but it would be very beautiful to understand. Abundance is very similar to the frequency of water. And so you can, a lot of times, the dynamics that are available in abundance, you can measure with the dynamics that are available in water. Now, what do we mean with that? There is a reason why the flow of your coins is called a currency. A current is a word coming from the element of water. A water current is the same as a current of money. Is the same as a current of connections or a current of opportunity. These things might be visualized as water. And this water wants to naturally flow to you if you are centered inside of yourself. As soon as you are centered inside of yourself, you can become that lake, a reservoir, where the water naturally flows into. And a lot of life force can be created in that. But once you start focusing on the outside, you are not able to fully become that reservoir of water. And so the water flows to other reservoirs that are more centered in their self or in their purpose, or have some kind of energy field around them that makes it very easy for them to receive. So if you are feeling there is a lack in some area of your life, allow yourself to move inwards, become present and still, and you will naturally become a reservoir where all flows of life want to flow into. In a way, you change the gravitational pull a little bit on the energetic plane, so that also you can be a reservoir that can receive the current. So it is way easier to look at all of the flowing energy systems when you compare it with water, because you all have seen streaming water before. You all intuitively know how water is moving. And also inside of your body, there is a lot of fluids, including water, moving according to the same dynamics. So, if you start to align yourself with water, you start to align yourself with abundance. Of course, the other elements have effect too, but to understand the flow, and if you desire to have more flow, let your focus be on everything that is already flowing, and at the same time focus inwardly to become a reservoir for the thing that you desire to flow in your life. With only these small two topics being said, let's move into questions, because we would love to receive your questions on the topic and move forward based on that direction. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Wow. Okay, let me drink some more water. And let me make sure the Zoom settings are all right here. Beautiful. Wow, so the first question that I have is actually from our most recent community member. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I will read them. Actually, there are two. So the question is, what playful experiment could unlock prosperity or new collaborations for me? And the second question is, related on Akashic Records and abundance, what's the most unusual way we could access the Akashic Records? That's such a funny question. The second one is really, I'm really curious what they're gonna say. So I might see that my audio here is a little bit too loud. People on YouTube, can you hear me all right? Let me know. I would love to make sure the audio is all right. Okay. Let us go into that first question. What playful experiments could unlock prosperity or new collaborations for me? We are absolutely loving playfulness, and so we are absolutely loving your question. Here is a couple of things that we would love to suggest. Some of you're already partly doing, but let's go with the flow. The first thing we would love to say is that anytime you are spending or receiving money, use that as a way to activate a mantra based on money. And the same goes for connections. So you might have a mantra. Money is flowing gracefully and abundantly to me. And every time you spend and every time you receive, even though it's a penny on the ground or a dollar on the ground that you almost don't want to pick it up anyway and say, wow, look at this. money is abundantly and gracefully flowing to me. And the same goes with connections. Amazingly aligned connections are constantly approaching me. Amazingly aligned connections are constantly approaching me. Then every LinkedIn connection you might receive, repeat that mantra. Every time somebody says hi to you on the street, repeat that mantra. Just every time you have a great conversation with somebody known or unknown, repeat that mantra. You will reinforce the energy based on experience. We see lots of humans love to say mantras, but what is even more powerful than saying mantras is to say mantras linked with physical experience, because that really reinforces your conscious and subconscious mind into a beautiful self-reassuring loop. So that's a fun little way to start. But here is another fun way to start or to play with this. And we are really fond on using your imagination for this. Every morning and every evening and whenever you feel during the day, see abundance, prosperity, and new connections flowing into your life, as if your guides made a couple of slides like they had in the playgrounds. And these slides are full with the things you want to receive. So one slide is there and just constantly beautiful connections come out of that slide. Maybe you can imagine a water slide. We were just talking about water. You know, these twinkly looping water slides that you might have in your pool or inside of a water park. Take a couple of these water slides and place them above you. One or multiple are full with connections, aligned connections. They're all amazingly aligned. Another slide is full with opportunities. Another slide might be full with passive income streams. Another one is full with just inspiration and all the great feelings you want to feel in your daily life. And just whenever you feel like, and especially in the morning, just before or just after a nap, and in the evening, see that just flowing and just your field is just constantly being receiving through these very fun and playful water slides, new connections, new prosperity, the ideal emotions, new forms of income, new inspiration for projects. This can be a really fun way. And the more you do it, the more crystallized become. And that's when truly the magic starts happening. When the vision becomes crystal clear. Now, for some of you, in the beginning, it's still quite a vague picture. But the more you repeat the picture, the more it really starts happening. And even though you don't literally mean that somebody builds 4 water slides above your head, you mean, figuratively speaking, that there are lots of these streams coming into your life. Put it in a playful vision. Now, let that playful vision be combined with great feelings and the feeling of what you would feel when all of this is increasing in your life, combined with the mantras. Every time really something happens in your life, even if it's super small, repeat some of the mantras that you want to reinforce, and you are up for a very powerful and playful experiment. We hope you are excited to start. Wow, that's fun. Make sure. Okay, beautiful. I love that. So I see Carolyn is here in the chat. She's also part of the Academy. So I am going to answer her question next, and then we do the other one from Ellen. So, and Ellen, if you would love to respond on that question, always feel free to respond. So, okay, good. So, the question of Carolyn is this. I have a question in the area of finances and abundance. Can the Akashic Records say something about the future of XRP? I understand that a lot of spiritual people that are otherwise not in crypto trading at all have been guided to XRP in dreams and visions. Any information that the Akashic Records can give in this topic would be super interesting. Thank you. So XRP is indeed a crypto coin. I don't know much about it too. But yeah, I have been yeah, let's see what I have to say. Let's see. I'm excited. This is a beautiful question. And even though we cannot and are not so good in future predictions, we see the crypto trend greatly evolving and maturing. It has gone past its infancy cycles, and a blockchain-based currency is way more aligned with the values of the divine than your current currencies that are flowing through banking systems. Now, what do we mean with that? Banking is not transparent. If you are putting your money on a saving account, the banks are able to trade with that, and you will never know which trades they are making. There are only a couple banks in the world that actually provide transparent information. And what they're doing is they might give you a 2% interest rate, while they make 15 to 20% of your money. So it seems like a good deal, but it's one of the least effective investments you can do. The only reason why saving would be a good thing is to see that you are able to build a reservoir, like a lake that we just have been talking about, seeing it again in the form of water. But it is not transparent. You will not see how your money is traded. You will not see the transactions. They are just providing you with a little container and a beautiful plastic card. And there you go. That's what they give. And then what they do with your money is most of the time completely unknown to the bank clients. Now, cryptocurrency is a completely transparent system. You can see every transaction of every coin that is happening right now on the internet. And some people do and love to watch it. It's almost like art to them to see a transparent currency system flowing and making all kinds of transactions. So, first of all, it gives the power back to the people instead of to the banks. The divine will always be aligned with giving power back to the individual, back to the people, back to the collective. And crypto is such a system that is able to do so. It is transparent, like water, at least most waters. And so, again, a value that nature and the divine values. And then there are many more things. Also, when it comes to privacy and when it comes to trackability, you as an individual are a lot safer in handling crypto. Of course, that also can have a negative side effect. And that is why the currencies at the beginning got a very bad rap. Because these new currencies were also used to do, and are still used to do, untraceable transactions on the internet. And that is a problem. But at the same time, that is a freedom. Privacy is a freedom, and privacy can be a problem. But again, it is giving the power back to the people. And it's neutral in that sense. If you want to do good, you can do good. If you want to do bad, you can do bad with that same system. But so is money. And so are many systems in this world that you are living in. Now, what you are talking about, XRP, is a very attractive option because of multiple things. The XRP token has been freezed on a couple of bull runs, and bull runs are great influxes where suddenly the prices of all the coins are raised and a lot of more people step into the game. XRP has not participated into the last two bull runs because of unjust legal issues. But right now, everything has been freed up and the coin is finally able to participate. Next to that, it is a great intermediary, which means it makes trading of all the other crypto coins and transacting with all the other crypto coins a lot easier. You might even say it is the connector. It is also very fast in connecting, because some blockchains, like the Bitcoin chain, are very slow. They might have been one of the first and one of the biggest, one of the most well-known, but that also means they are very slow and inefficient compared to the newer ones. XRP is very fast. And we were talking about water. And one of the nicknames or names of XRP is called Ripple. Again, a watery term. Blockchain is no different, and cryptocurrency is no different than the water flow we were just talking about. Every moving, living system that humanity has created has the reflections of water inside of them. Humanity always creates technology of things that are already inside of them or around them. This technology, the economic system, and also cryptocurrency, again, is a current. And because humans are full of fluids, and this earth surface is full of fluids, of course, humanity couldn't help than to mimic and mirror the dynamics of water. So that is really good to understand. We are having difficulty accurately predicting which of your coins will go up. But eventually, it is a better system than your banking system. Your financial system started off with great intentions, but has completely been overtaken and been corrupted to a big degree. In opposite fashion, decentralized coins are completely decentral, which means there is no central bank governing it. The power is back to the people. It is more transparent. And more humans will wake up to that, including governments. If you look at the mining facilities at the moment being built into many of the bigger and smaller countries, you will see that governments are taking a big interest and they are planning to change their currency from gold-backed, which the gold-backed system has been left a while ago, to a crypto coin-backed economy. Because an economy is just so much more trustable when it is backed by something. We can go so deep on this topic, and because we know you are able to open the Akashic Records yourself, here are a couple of Akashic Record names we invite you to open. Open the Akashic Record names of cryptographic currencies on Mother Earth. That's one. The other one, you might open the Akashic Records of XRP, one of our cryptocurrencies on Mother Earth. We add that to the name when you open them to make sure you are opening the right records. And another one is the Akashic Records of currency. These three will give you a bigger understanding. And while you have them open, you might say something along the lines, can you help me understand the crypto world? Can you help me understand and download intuitive guidance and knowledge for me to participate with clarity in the crypto world? Because it's such a young system, you want to still operate in clarity. Part of the youngness also means there is a lot of scamming and a lot of weird, shady things going on. There's way more good things than shady things, but we still have to be aware. And that's why we always ask you to discern, always ask to feel into your heart, to ask your guides, because they have a better perspective on which coin will raise than we can give you. Oof, that was a whole lot. We hope this was of benefit. Wow, I never really asked about that. So, I will go into a question also from here, from one of our community members. What is the most unusual way we could access the Akashic Records? This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Dear one, we are so excited about your questions. First of all, we believe the current ways are already quite unusual, if you ask us. We rather see a world where everyone is just intimately connected with the records. And you will see that the newer generations, especially the kids that are now 10 and younger and are born right now, will have way more direct access than ever before. But that doesn't mean that they know how to use these connections. Now, what we mean with that is emotions have been a big part of humans' lives. And emotions have been more accessible than ever before. But are humans knowing how to use emotions? Most of them we see are using that beautiful and powerful God-given gift in completely the opposite way as intended. So it doesn't mean when somebody has access that they will use that access in the right way. But humanity is upgrading, and a default Akashic Records connection is more powerful. And so less unusual ways are needed. But here are a couple of unusual ways. One thing that we are currently preparing in this channel and a couple of other Akashic Record teachers and channels is the ability to let everyone that is in their proximity and everyone that is listening to them have an instant connection with the records. And some of you might already feel this, but the upgrades that we have planned for this channel are not yet fully finished. So we will continue with that. But in future sessions, you might just have an instant connection without any initiation or technique, just because you are listening and tuning in, which is pretty unusual and great to me. Another one that we truly love is the repetition of certain words and sounds and mantras in meditation, especially when it comes to the vibratory sounds. You can form or hum a melody, and that melody is in exact command to open your records. Once you know the melody, you will be able to access the infinite libraries that we are right now situated in. One that has been well known and has been available to all of you since the beginning of time is deep meditation. Deep meditation will expand your energy field, and one point your energy field will be ready to naturally receive the Akashic Records without any technique. But that, unfortunately, is also unusual on your planet, even though more and more humans are meditating right now. Partly because life without meditation is becoming pretty rough. There are a couple of other ways that we wish we could talk about, but are not yet ready for the public, even though they are available to the public. If we had the right to talk about it, we would share it in this transmission. But at the moment, we ask you, if you are really curious about unusual ways, to open your own records and ask this same question. Because if it was just for you, you are ready for more answers. But because we are streaming right now, we need to be careful with what we are saying, because some things are just simply not ripe enough to be shared. Thank you for your question. Wow. Okay, let me go. Thank you for your question. That was so beautiful. Okay, I see 𝐀𝐥𝐢𝐬. Hi 𝐀𝐥𝐢𝐬, so good to see you. Suggestion on the records or the current crypto bull run. They already talked a little bit about that. I would love to to go to a little bit of a different nature, question of a different nature. So I see Jessica Lynn here in the chat. Can I tap more into my creativity and bring more abundance into my life? I want to make money in more creative ways. Let's go, Jessica. I love that. Before I go into the records, there's one thing that maybe you already signed up. I know many people did, but this August, I'm doing an amazing event and I would love to invite you. It's called, I prepared a little slide here. It's called the August of Abundance event. And it goes from the 1st to the 8th of August. It will have beautiful activations. So part of your answer will be, come to the event. You will be upgraded and activated by the Akashic Records. And we will have so much fun there. So the website is called augustofabundance.com and you can join there for free. So whenever you would love to join that journey, it's going to be very beautiful. And yeah, not only Jessica, everyone that is tuning in, I would love to invite you because abundance is just so beautiful. And sometimes it simply needs a couple of activations to get things right and remove everything that is not serving. And I believe we're going to do exactly that. So I'm looking forward to have you if you're interested. But let me also ask the records. So, how can Jessica tap into her creativity and bring more abundance into her life? She wants to make more money in more creative ways. The first thing I feel is a kind of waterfall-like energy. I don't know if that makes sense. Can you elaborate on this? Yes. We are showing this channel a waterfall that moves from above the crown all the way to the base chakra. The base chakra is situated at the lowest end of the spine. What we mean with that is that creative energy can come from many different ways. But what is really a beautiful way to let it flow is to start from above in the higher mind, in the higher cosmos. You receive ideas from the higher mind by becoming peaceful in your conscious mind. When the conscious mind starts to relax and to slow down and to stretch out, your higher mind is finally able to give you the ideas that it has been wishing to give you. As soon as it gives these ideas, it moves downward. It moves downward first to the vision. Can you envision what it will be? You might write it down. You might create it. Then it moves down to the throat. The waterfall moves downward. Can you, from that vision in your head, create words? Can you be able to word it? Can you pronounce what it is? Can you express the ideas to a couple loved ones that you trust? It's not about completely sharing it yet, but it's about sharing it with a couple of trusted people. When you're able to make it clear and explain it clearly, it moves downward to the heart. The heart is a very beautiful energy, and it will ask you the question, what do I need to give into this new creation? And what do I need to receive for this creation to be fulfilled. The heart is also very interconnected. And so, which connections, which heart-to-heart or soul-to-soul connections can I utilize to bring this new creation onto the planet? Then it moves downwards into the center of willpower. The center of willpower will be fully activated once you feel the passion of the heart and the clarity of the mind combined. As soon as that happens, you will feel a certain confidence. Even though you might not feel fully ready, you know deep down that you are the person that needs to bring this into the world because you received this idea. And the idea is so genius, somehow you have to act on it. Let that action move you forward. Take consistent action and you will create great momentum so that willpower is not needed anymore, but you just roll. Then it comes into the lower sacral center. The lower sacral center is actually linked with water and is also linked with creativity and emotion. And you were talking about creativity in your answer. Once you have it down here, you can truly start playing and flowing with your idea. You are in action, you created momentum, now it's time to flow. As if you are a free feminine goddess with a paintbrush, and you just paint wherever you want to paint. You're free in your expression. Let yourself be unbound in your creativity. And don't forget to receive pleasure and not overwork yourself. You see that most humans, they are able to take an idea up to the solar plexus, but then start working their so-called asses off and forget that they still have two beautiful energy centers where the idea needs to flow through. And so they work and work and work and work and work and burn out and try again and burn out and try again because they are not able to bring it to their creative center. But you need, as soon as you have a little bit of momentum, bring it down to the creative center. There you are receiving pleasure and at the same time you are unbound in your creativity. You can make different variations. All of a sudden, maybe it started as an event, but it can become a book and a one-on-one event and a beautiful slide deck. Or it might be a practice and people can become facilitators of the practice. Or it might be a completely unique retreat. You start to go into that area of creativity, of originality, of playfulness, and of pleasure. And all the way down is the moment where it is rooted. And where it is rooted, we mean then it truly hit the ground. Just like a car, if you lift up a car with a crane, you can put the gas all at once, but until it meets the road, it is not able to move by itself. It needs to meet the road. Your idea needs to meet the earth. Once it meets the earth, then you truly create traction. And from a place of traction, you can move then back up this. First, the waterfall comes down completely. And when it is down completely and it's properly flowing and it has met the earth. Now, what do we mean practically with met the earth? That your idea is not only available in the 3 people that you advised where you were in the heart. The idea has a contact point. You can interact with it. People that don't know who you are can somehow find you. It is tested by people that see it. and based on the tests, it is able to also be improved upon. There is a physical or digital touch point that people can have your ID in. And then, when you met the earth, you go back up. Because now you have feedback from real life, from earthly life. You move back up to the creative center. You can create more based on the feedback. Because you're now interacting with clients and you're creating more things for them and being of higher service. All of a sudden there's more energy, there's more vitality, there's more willpower, there's more confidence, belief. Oh wow, this is actually working. People actually love what I just created. Amazing. This creates also more self-love, opens the heart to a higher degree. You become more interconnected with people. You are able to give more things. You are able to receive more. And so the heart opens up, the throat starts open up. You start sharing more. You start allowing yourself to speak into networks. You might go on podcasts. You might be asked to do a public speech. Your social media channels might grow if that is your way of speaking. In so doing, your reach becomes bigger. And when the reach becomes bigger and you start to meet interesting people, you might notice that the vision of your original ID is way bigger than your thought. And so your visionary center in the middle of your head expands this ID to the next frontiers, to the next level. And at any moment in time, you can always request for divine help, divine guidance, angelic help, angelic guidance. This is a beautiful, integrative model of creation. Now, why is this a model of integrative creation? The physical light in your world has been split by the colors of the rainbow, all governing a different frequencies. So is your light split by the frequencies of your different energy centers. By taking the creation process fully through the energy centers, from top to bottom and from bottom back to top, you start to create a beautiful flow inside of your being. And whenever you start creating this flow, whatever you are struggling with right now will never be a problem anymore. You will constantly have ideas, and you're able, through this process, to naturally bring them into reality, and from reality naturally optimize them and then circulate them again and again in beautiful cycles, activating all of your channels. Now, we have a question for you. Now you know the model we just talked about. Let's take a big deep breath in. Let's imagine such a waterfall coming down from the crown into the mind, and just see where it stops. For many, it might immediately stop in the mental center. That means that you are thinking too much with your conscious mind and are not letting divine guidance to enter. The best problem or solution to that problem is to meditate. Do activity where you get into the body and let the mind rest. It has been overworking, overthinking. Let the mind rest whenever you want to rest. As soon as that happens, you will notice that this waterfall energy will go downward. Then it might stop in a different energy center, and you know exactly. And you can self-guide yourself into the next step. Because if you see it afterwards stopping, and this is an example, we are not saying that it's true for you right now. But let's say it stops between the heart and the willpower center. Okay, your heart might be open, but somehow you're not believing you can do this. So it might feel good and might feel alive, and you also have a network. It can be realized right now, but somehow there is something blocking. It might be inner confidence, it might be unworthiness. You might just not feel emotionally or in your self image ready. And as soon as you know and feel that the waterfall stops, the creative flow stops right there, see if you can work on your confidence. See if you can shift your mentality around it. You will notice the waterfall starts flowing deeper. In so doing, it is your job and everyone's job that wants to be creative to open this channel, to open this flow. It's a great metaphor, not only because it is intimately linked with how your energy is being moved in your body. It is also a great metaphor because your body can let you feel exactly where you are right now in that journey. And if you need more personal guidance, we are here for you. But we wanted to share this model with you so that not only you have an answer, but you can always feel where in the creative process the flow is being stopped. And just by intuitive thinking, move into the next step. We hope this helps. Great question. Thank you. Wow. Let me drink some water. Beautiful. So, I have another question pre-sent from the community. That is this. Can you give everyone a road to abundance plan with 10 or 20 steps to be taken? Now, this is very interesting because I had an insight on this yesterday. As I already told you, and you know, I'm building this beautiful place online called Sacred Alignment Academy, and its mission is to let you really find your sweet spot in life and become prosperous in living that sweet spot. Because I myself, and I see many people just not being aligned with who they are. And they have so much potential and so much gifts, but somehow they are in a job they don't like. They're in a, they're just in something they don't love or like. And they're just doing it to pay the bills and they're just eating their souls. Now that becomes harder and harder. And I want to make this space so that we can support each other, but also have a framework to get kind of focused in that and to start becoming prosperous in that. What is so beautiful, I had literally on your question, I had an insight yesterday. And the insight was this: what if this community as its core focus has a journey, facilitates a journey, and that journey is 100% made to get you into a road of abundance. And its promise is, and I'm not fully sure on the promise, this is so fresh, I'm sharing it with you because I want to be as transparent as the water here next to me, but I would love to share it with you because I think it's fun to discuss and have the conversation while I'm building it. What if in 3 months you have your first clients completely based on your own passions and what you are here to give to the world? Like in 3 months, you have your first clients. If you are not able to do that, I give you all your money back. That is kind of the idea that I got yesterday. It's like, wow, yes, And it's linked with this question, right? Can you give everyone a road to abundance plan with 10 or 20 steps to be taken? So it will literally be a guided plan based by the records that will go from wherever you are to having your first paid clients completely based on that sweet spot. And I don't know if I would love to ask you, and if you can give me some feedback, is sweet spot a fake term? Or are you understanding when I say sweet spot what you mean? Because when I say, I'm curious what you think. Like, what do you mean with sweet spot? When I think about sweet spot, I'm thinking about the place, because I believe strongly that you are carrying a unique frequency, your journey and your characteristics, the qualities that you came here with, together are here to provide a very beautiful value to humanity. And life becomes very wonderful if you step into that. And life becomes harder and harder when you are playing it too small and you're not able to step into that. That stepping into that, and then all of a sudden opportunities are coming, connections are coming, amazing magic is happening, you start traveling, all of these things that you feel in your awareness are already available to you, might become way more available to you as you step into your sweet spot. I am in the process of stepping into my sweet spot. I love it. I love this process. I want to be in this process for life, because it just already gives me so much bliss. And at the same time, I'm just getting started. But I'm curious when I say sweet spot, if you know what I mean or not. Is it intuitively like, yes? Or is it like, what do you mean, dude? I would love to know. Anyway, let's go into the question. Can you give everyone a road to abundance plan with 10 or 20 steps to be taken? Dear one, we just gave a beautiful 14-step plan when it comes to 7 steps down and 7 steps up to your beautiful energy system. Yes, the answer is yes. We actually have many, but what we truly love to give is to give people the experience. The plan is fun, but the experience is truly where the magic is at. We just gave a plan, so we can give another plan, but we feel the plan that has just been given with the energy centers has been sufficient. It is a road to abundance. By you becoming your own creative orbit, you will create product after product, service after service, event after event, based on divine guidance, bringing it to earth through all the energy centers, and then back up through the energy centers to let it be evolved, is of a beautiful journey and can be seen as a roadmap. But, a big but, if you ever went as a child to a park with a lot of attractions, like an amusement park, let's say Disneyland or Disney World, and you come to Disney World and you receive a beautiful map and it's full with colors, but the only thing you do is to see the map. You never see the castle from the inside. You never go into any roller coaster. You're never going into any haunted house or Peter Pan or Pirates of the Caribbean or all the things that are to be experienced in such an amusement park. It is quite a pity, isn't it? But still, a lot of people have all the roadmaps, but they are not actually moving away from the roadmap and taking steps into the amusement park. So, to give you a little bit of a playful push, is to use the framework we just have given to the beautiful question of Jessica and start stepping into that. Become the amusement park. It is quite a ride. And it is a ride that you never want to miss. And even though sometimes difficult, because all the parts of you that are playing too small have to leave you someday, it is one of the most worthwhile journeys you can take. Thank you for your question. And we know you had a follow-up question, so let us take that one too. What is the follow-up question? The follow-up question is, what is the value of abundance when you are the only one or one of the few and the rest of the people around you do not live in abundance? Wow, that's a great question. Thank you, Luke, for your questions. Dear one, this is a great question. And it is beautiful. Now, first of all, the value of abundance is plentiful. What we mean with that is the value of abundance is a state of overflow. That means you are receiving so much of the goodness of life, you naturally flow over, and you are able to give to others the goodness of life. So even though they are not in abundance, because you are in abundance, they are receiving abundance. That's already of big value. But the state of overflow, the emotional, mental, and spiritual state of overflow is such a beautiful, content, fulfilled state of being. It can be seen as the most natural state, even though it is not the most and not the most common state. It is not well known, but it is absolutely beautiful. Your soul feels at home in a state of overflow because it comes from a dimension that is already way more used to overflow. Now, what that means is, in a way, the higher you go up in dimensions, the closer you come to the light. And so, whenever you are closer to the light, even though there is all interconnected, it can be seen as a beautiful diffused pattern or a gradient, where at the center it's just pure divine light. And the farther you move from the center, the more it is diffused, and a little bit more diffused, and a little bit more diffused, and a little bit more diffused. Overflow can be experienced in every area, but it is so much easier to experience it when you're closer to the light, because it's just so much more obvious. As soon as you move further away from the light, overflow becomes a state that kind of needs to be remembered or realized. But when you are realized in a state of overflow, you feel bliss, you feel fulfilled, you feel so content with life, you cannot help but smile. Your systems start to naturally move in a state of harmony. Your emotional state starts to calm down greatly. And all of these qualities will be so great inside of your system that you naturally overflow to many others. There is this big, beautiful, and ceremonial metaphor we want to give, which is what you see a lot of times in weddings or at New Year's parties, where you see a lot of champagne glasses stacked on top of each other into a beautiful cone or pyramid. And the guest of honor or the ceremony master, as soon as it is time to celebrate, opens a big bottle of champagne and starts to pour it only in the upper glass. But then from the upper glass, it moves into the glasses below. From the glasses below, it moves into the glasses below. And it starts to become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It starts to become a ripple effect, like we talked about earlier. So, the value, even though we can go very deep into all of the high frequencies that you are met with, is that you cannot help but to naturally let your surroundings also be more in overflow. And if they are not one to receive it, no worries, no problem. They have their own journey to go through. They are here maybe battling different challenges and are here to fulfill other karmic connections. Whenever such a connection is closed, you don't have to push in any way. Let them be. But keep on being and radiating from that overflowing state, because you might not be the person that this other person is not ready for, but maybe your neighbor is ready for it, and he starts to become so overflowing that his neighbor becomes ready for it, and his neighbor becomes so overflowing that all of a sudden also the person that was not ready to receive yours will still receive your overflow by the overflow pattern. You just have to be in the state long enough to truly exercise this. And that is another question, because you might all have glimpses of overflow, but how can you sustain the state of overflow? That is a great question that we would love to ask and answer to ourselves. A sustained state of overflow is a sustained state of alignment. Everyone has a different set of areas that need to be in alignment for overflow to occur. For some, that might be making music and cooking and going to bed early. And for others, that might be being on a stage and when they come home, painting. And for others, it might be being in social connections and having at least 3 social events each week. And for others, it might be exercising and singing combined with little naps in the afternoon. Whatever your alignment is, and this is a very simplified version, but whatever your alignment is, stay in it. Whenever you have a glimpse of the overflow, allow yourself to recognize, hey, this is a signal, something that I have been doing over the last couple of days or weeks is helping me to achieve a higher level of emotion. Can I do more of that? Can I turn this into a habit? Can I turn this into a lifestyle? And you will know whenever you align your social connections, your nutrition, your vocation, the things you are consuming and the things you are giving. you will feel that this flow becomes sustained. Sustained, you will inspire many. And your state becomes so untouchable by others that the only thing they are able to do is to receive. This is one reason when people are gathering around this channel, they automatically feel a sense of peace. They might come from a very chaotic and worrisome day, but as soon as they land in the circle, they find peace. That is because this channel has been practicing peace for over a decade, and he's continuing doing so. He is overflowing in a state of peace. His voice radiates it, his eyes radiates it, his reactions radiate it. He cannot help it anymore. And so naturally, by osmosis, by transmission, and by resonance, peace is in overflow. You can do the same for the things you are able to receive right now and desire to receive in the near future. Remember how you came there and use the past as a tool to keep on loving and keep on being in that alignment. Thank you for your questions, dear one. Oof. Wow. This was so beautiful. I see we're already 1.5 hours in, but we started a little bit late. So I would love one more question from the chat. One more question from the chat, and then we go into, and then I think it's a good one to close, right? So, oh, Nirvana Bliss asks, how can you acquire your kind of peacefulness? They just talked about that. I didn't see that. That's so funny. Yeah, yeah, thank you for feeling that. I feel very peaceful. And I love it. I would love to say, let your inner world be completely accepted. And that's a journey. That's not in one go, just that's a journey. But once you are able to accept your inner thoughts, your emotions, your current state of being, the outer world is peanuts, really. When you are able to accept and be with your inner things and are in the process of seeing yourself inwardly and accept it, don't judge it, you become just so much more peaceful, right? And then, like, there might be an irritating trigger inside of my emotional field. But once I am able to accept, oh wow, there is a trigger in my emotional field, I feel irritated. All of a sudden, I don't feel irritated anymore. And once you do that again and again, like it's like I don't want to have the irritation go away. I don't want to. I just notice it. Once you do it again and again, you become so acceptance of what happens inside of you. Then an irritating guy outside on the street or in the store, you're completely you're completely okay with that, because the most powerful irritating force you already overcame. Anyway, it might be a good one for doing a video on, because it is a beautiful state to be. You already have it in your name, Nirvana Bliss, so that's good. I would love to. So, can you ask if Jesus really brought Lazarus back to life? As lately I struggle with these thoughts, because Jesus says he didn't die. Religion is a struggle. Wow, Barbara, I would love to. I would love to have a quick answer for you, because that's a big topic. And religion can be a struggle and can be an absolute relief in life. It can be a giver of faith and a taker of faith. But what I feel intuitively that I want to say is the following. I am following two people that are understanding the Bible in a way different way than I ever understood it. I never read it. I grow up completely atheist. My parents were completely atheist, and I just started feeling God as a sensory and experiential feeling until the point I really couldn't deny anymore. Like, I was just absolutely overwhelmed by it. At one point, if these experiences happen, you create faith from the inside instead of reading it in scriptures. But scriptures can be misinterpreted. It can actually also, it can be well interpreted, and they can be a pointer towards, but they can also be misinterpreted. And one thing that I have learned by people that are studying the Bible, and I feel are drawing great conclusions out of that, is if you can see if you can find the original Hebrew text, and I don't know if you're in AI or not, but see if you can, or if you already understand Hebrew, see if you can dissect the Hebrew text instead of the translated text. Because the Hebrew text is like Hebrew, the language is full of meaning. For example, I know, maybe it was you, Barbara, or someone else, a couple live streams ago, somebody asked about the cross, the Jesus on the cross. I just learned that the word, or the word for God, one of the words for God, there are many words for God in Hebrew, many names, but also the first letter of the alphabet, or Aleph Bet, in Hebrew, is the letter Aleph. Also in Arabic, it's the letter Aleph. Aleph is one also that means God. It means also Alpha, Alpha Omega. It means the Alpha. It means the first. It means the origin. It means God. What I learned a couple days ago, and I was remembering the question in the live stream, is that the letter Aleph is built from two how you say that? Yods, two yods and a V or something. I don't know. Those are Hebrew building blocks. Two yods and a V. And the word for yod also means hand, and or the word for V also means hand. I'm completely butchering it, but one of the two means hand and the other of the two means nails. So the word God in Hebrew is consisting of hands and nails. Like literally the letter is built up of other letters, and these other letters means hands and nails. And Jesus is with his hands being nailed on a cross. Now, if you know the Hebrew origin, all of a sudden it can mean so much more, right? It might just mean in the original text that he is displaying God. But because of iterations, because of many different ways of doing things, all of a sudden it has been translated as nails and hands and blah, 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 blah. And at one point it becomes a whole story about a cross, all of that. So I would highly recommend the passages that you struggle with to look them up in Hebrew, to see where the words are made from, to see where the letters are made from, and to understand it in that way, because then you are removed from mistranslation. You are as close as the origin as you can be. I would love to say that to you, and you might know somebody that understands Hebrew better. You might interconnect with people currently that understand Hebrew, or you might use AI or Google to say like, hey, can you dissect this word for me, or this sentence for me? Can you look up what is the Hebrew sentence in the Bible, and can you then let me understand the meaning of the letters. It might help with truly understanding the scriptures if you want to not let it go. Thank you for the question. And I would love to, and we can go into Akashic Records later. But I have here Deborah Jenkins. I don't know if this has been discussed previously, but my question is, how can we access or gain knowledge of a soul's journey and the evolution of that soul? That's a beautiful question. I know for me, it's been 100%. The source has been the Akashic Records. That's what I'm channeling from. But I would love to ask them and then close this transmission. So thank you for your question, Deborah. How can we access or gain knowledge of a soul's journey and the evolution of that soul? Dear one, this is a beautiful question. And just you wording this question will create a powerful journey for you that will let you understand your soul's journey in way deeper levels. There are many perspectives on your soul's journey, and so you can access it through many different perspectives. Some people are just seeing straight through your physical layers into your soul and will be able to give you a reading because your journey is already present inside of you. You might believe that the Akashic Records is a library floating outside of the sky, but all of this knowledge is stored inside of you. It is present in your light. It is present in the frequency that you hold. And it's even physically present in a part of your DNA that the medical system hasn't figured out yet what the DNA is for. And so they call it junk DNA. This junk DNA is not at all junk DNA. You rather can call it soul's journey DNA, while your other DNA might be called your genetic journey DNA. And so both your genetic journey and your soul's journey are encoded. Now there are many different ways to access this. One is through deep meditation, focused on listening to your DNA, to your cells. Another one is breath work. Another one is going to different power spots and places where you might have been in previous lifetimes. And sometimes you will receive a whole part of a life that you have lived eons ago. But the place where we are currently coming from is a great and stable place that allows you to ask many questions. And this has been called the Book of Life in Western language and the Akashic Records in Eastern language. Both are pointing to the same place, a place where all information is stored. We are basically reading out your own DNA if we are connected. And we are connected. But you can be connected in a two-way communication channel. At the moment, we are recording everything. We are part of your energy field, but most humans are not aware of that. Luckily, techniques have been downloaded and made available so that you can communicate with us. And this is how this channel started. This is how his students are accessing the records. And you don't need to be a profound meditator for this technique. Many are able to join. Even the most mental and critical persons might become a great channeler of their own soul's wisdom in no time. This is because we have downloaded and given to the humans that were ready powerful vibrational keys. And these vibrational keys open up a two-way communication channel. This two-way communication channel is just like your Google or your ChatGPT, where you are asking a question and a whole lot of information comes back to you. So you can ask questions about your soul's journey. You can ask questions about how many lifetimes you have lived, if these lifetimes were on Earth or in different places, where on Earth you might have lived, where on Earth you might need to go to remember and reactivate part of your journey. All of these questions are easy for us to answer. So for that, you might connect with an Akashic record reader like the one that is talking to you now, or learn it for yourself, which is what we of course recommend, because we in the Akashic Records would love to talk with all of you on a day-to-day level. We are able to let you remember your soul, remember what you came here to do, which purpose you have, and to then make sure you get aligned with this purpose. There is one reason why we let this channel call his community the Sacred Alignment Academy. Because every time somebody asks what humanity truly needs, it is alignment with their soul's journey. Once you remember, life becomes a piece of cake. That is, once you remember and are willing to step into the potential that we will display to you, life will become a piece of cake. And some are naturally gifted and never need to connect with the records, and others, it will be a great tool. So if you feel resonant and if you feel ready, we are 100% ready to communicate with you. And we love your question. Thank you so much. Wow. Oof. I love this. If you're still here, this was a longer live session, but I loved it so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you want to join me at the beginning of August, we're going to have such a powerful event. I would love to have you. It's called the August of Abundance event. augustofabundance.com is the website. You sign up and I let you, like, all the information will go by email. So if you feel called to upgrade your abundance, let's go. I'm definitely ready to be upgraded. And last year we did a Lionsgate activation. It was so powerful that some people, even a half a year later, they came to me and they said, dude, that Lions activation you did, I just integrated all the knowledge and it is so powerful. And I got all of these insights and they just start talking to me and I'm like, wow, I forgot that I did that. But yeah, this is going to be a more spread out Lionsgate activation where we will do half an hour a day, focus on a different topic and activate your energy system so you are ready to receive more. You're ready to live more in a state of overflow. I love this topic. So if you have more questions, maybe you see this in the replay. If you have more questions, please put them in the comments. or put them in the chat. I would love to continue talk about this topic because I feel it's a birthright. It's a birthright. Come on, you all deserve it. We all deserve it. So let's go there. Let's be these overflowing beings that are also able to continually spread it to others. Thank you so much for being here. I'm looking forward to the next one.